Yeah, I feel like it just makes you feel more comfortable with who you are. Like it's okay to be who you want to be. I can't describe the feeling. It just genuinely feels that way.
Please know that wherever you are from, whoever you are, whoever you would like to be, I love each and every single one of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Harry came into my life when I was 13? 12 or 13. I'm 24 now, so it's been a very, very long time.
Harry came into my life probably like, I think it's almost 10 years ago now.
Harry came into my life during the X Factor. Everyone around me was obsessed with him, and that kind of naturally filtered into me, I guess.
I don't really remember how it happened, but obviously at some point me and my friends discovered One Direction.
And then I probably got into One Direction when What Makes You Beautiful was released. I listened to it on repeat.
And he's been there ever since. He's just been here.
The shift from Harry being in One Direction to debuting his solo stuff, Sign of the Times, I kind of, in a way, I felt a little bit sad, like 5%, because I was still in the mindset that One Direction was going to be back in a year's time, and obviously we know that that didn't happen.
When they broke up, it was devastating, obviously.
So my big thing was like after One Direction, I was like, I still want to support them. All of them. Like as solo members, I was like, I really want to support them. I was just like hearing rumors that it was a really long song, and I was like, okay, like I might be kind of into it. Like let's just see what his vibe is about. Like let's just see. I'm gonna give all of them a chance. We're just gonna see what happens.
But then he came out with his solo music, and it just kept going on from there.
But yeah, Sign of the Times, oh my god, it was probably my favorite, well, not even probably, definitely my favorite song that came out that year. I was obsessed with it, still am. I think genuinely it is a musical masterpiece. I think that it's so timeless, and yeah, I just think it sounds phenomenal.
It just keeps getting better. I feel like he just doesn't stop, and it's so beautiful to watch him do what he does best.
I would say the main thing that attracts me to Harry as a solo artist is just his warmth. He feels like a very warm person to me. And I obviously don't know him personally, but he seems very welcoming. Every single concert I've been to has been amazing. The atmosphere has been amazing. The things he says are always amazing, and what he does. And he's just so inspirational to me as a person. Like I would not be here in England doing this interview if it wasn't for him. And that's like the complete truth.
He's loud and outgoing and unapologetically himself. He looks like he's having a fun time, and oh my god, I love watching him perform, and I love his music and everything he writes. I'm like, yes, a man that knows how to create music. And as a musician myself, he inspires me so much.
With him, you just know that it's so meaningful, because I feel like there's many artists who just write stuff or have stuff written for them, and for him you always know there's something personal behind it, and I think that's really beautiful. And to like try and find out what it means, what the story behind the songs are.
But it's so much more than just his music. I'm someone who looks at a person, and of course when you're a celebrity, you're in the public eye, it's only what you show to people, but what I see I really like. And I've seen other things. I look at donations he's done, charities he's done, things that he supports, and I'm like, I support a lot of the same things. I like, what he's giving out, and I love the atmosphere he's created. So yeah,
I feel like it just makes you feel more comfortable with who you are. Like it's okay to be who you want to be, because he does that so shamelessly, and he encourages everyone else to do the same, and he just makes everyone around him feel so comfortable. And I feel like he does that when he's on stage, but from what I've seen and heard, he also does that in like private spaces, and I think that's so amazing. And I feel like sometimes it just makes me want to be a better person every day.
For me, personality and music come part and parcel. If I don't like someone personally, then I really can't get on board with their music, regardless of how good it is.
I actually can't think of a specific moment where it became like clear to me that he was like a real ally. But I personally don't see him as just an ally, because he, in my opinion, queer codes a lot. He has a lot of queerness to him, and even if he doesn't like explicitly acknowledge it, I feel like there's more than just allyship to him.
I've always seen Harry as being an ally, really. Since the Made in the AM era, he's been coming out as unlabeled, and I kind of had an inkling before that anyway. So I can definitely see how his allyship has grown publicly, because I can see that there were probably reasons he couldn't do that before, for whatever reasons those were. And yeah, I think it's so beautiful to see him publicly, like, waving flags and supporting communities. And I just think that it's really, really nice to see. It gives fans a safe space to go and feel that if anyone else, well, when you go to a show, you'd like to hope that people believe in the ideals of the artist there. By going to a show of Harry, you know that everyone there is at least going to be a bit on board with people being queer, or trans. And yeah, I just think that that's really cool. It gives people a nice space to go.
I would say that I first noticed it in One Direction. That's when I first noticed it, because he was the member who would always have the flags. He was the member who always was carrying them, parading them everywhere. Didn't matter where he was, he always had them. And then as I went to his solo shows, and then as I was seeing other people going to them, he consistently had pride flags. He's talked about his own sexuality a little bit. He's always made his concerts and made his spaces, whether that's like the Pleasing Pop-Up Shop or One Night Only or anything like that. It feels like a very safe environment for LGBTs.
You would like to come out too? Or just, I mean, it's only for yourself anyway. Is this your flag? Would you like me to wave it? Can I please get, by the way, when I raise this flag, you're officially out. I've heard that's how it works. Okay. Can we get a... Big moment. Just take a second to remember. This is a big moment. Okay, here we go. I feel good, so I can't imagine how good you feel. Would you like that? Congratulations, Lexley!
You can try and stop us from coming into your spaces, you can try and hide us, you can try and make us not exist or something like that, but you can never truly erase us. We'll always be here.
Harry going out of his way to make like his queer fans feel comfortable and safe makes me really happy. It makes me feel safe because it shows that it's a really important matter to him. and that he wants to do this in the most visible way he can. And I think that's really beautiful, and it probably helps a lot of people, makes a big difference for a lot of people who are probably also not used to that. And he just knows what the people want, what the people need.
Yeah, so when Harry actively goes out of his way to show his support, it makes me feel really good. Because he doesn't have to do that. It's so easy for a celebrity or a public figure to just support a cause or, you know, do some sort of activism, but for it to be hollow, for it to not be very deep. And he's showing that it doesn't matter if they tell me no, I'm still going to show my support because it's important. It's an important thing to do.
Harry helping fans coming out of the closet. It's not funny, but it's like just so refreshing that he does it in such he does it in a little bit of a funny way, and it's so nice how he takes such a big thing and such a anxious filled thing and makes it look so easy and makes people feel so safe and at ease with it. And it's just so lovely as well that he supports his fans that way, because I mean, coming out is not easy. It's tough, and especially if it's like your mum, that's so nerve-wracking. And I mean, if Harry Styles had called my mum, I think she reacted a bit differently than she did when I came out to her. So it's such a lovely thing for him to do, and yeah, I think it can help a lot of people just to see that it is possible to come out and have a good reaction.
I'm gonna come out to my parents because of you. Are your parents here? Where are they? She's in our hotel room. How far away is the hotel? 4 miles. I think if we're real, what's your name? Grace. If we can get it as quiet as possible. What's your mum's name? Tina. If we can get it as quiet as possible, I'm going to tell Tina before you get a chance. Please, as quiet as possible. As quiet as possible. As quiet as possible. 0 noise. Thank you. Tina! She's gay! Right? Tina says she loves you. Good luck. Congratulations. Very happy for you. Tina, she's gay! On 3, 1, 2, 3, Tina!
I love it. So I was at the concert when the Tina, she's gay. I was at that concert. That was in San Jose, in California, and I remember because he was reading the sign. I was watching him read it, and he was like, "Should I just read it out?" And he's like, "Tina, she's gay!" And everyone in the stands was like, "Yeah, like so supportive," and like, oh my gosh, like I love that. He helped another girl come out, McKinley. She's from California as well, and while I've never met her in person, I followed her for a very long time, and it's the same thing. Like, it's amazing. I think that it's amazing that people feel comfortable enough to show who they really are and to feel safe in that.
I think it's generally really sweet that Harry's helped people to come out. Coming out can be so difficult for people because of obviously so many different reasons. I was lucky that mine wasn't difficult, but having Harry there to, I guess, share that moment with you and to help you through that, I could see that being like really lovely. And yeah, I think that's really kind that he did that, or does that, really.
I definitely think that we as fans put a lot of trust in Harry by doing this, but I also feel like that comes from him showing us that we can put that trust into him, that he gives us this space for everyone to feel safe enough to do this, to trust him with doing this. So I think it's like something that comes from both sides, And I also think it's probably maybe has to do with a lot of his fans growing up with him. And like, I mean, when I came out, I was the biggest One Direction fan. It was like such a big part of me back then, it still is. And I feel like having him like there constantly during this time of my life has played a big impact on how I see him. And like seeing that he supports this, I saw that this is nothing wrong, that this is okay. And yeah, I think he gives people the space to put so much trust into him.
I think the amount of trust we put into Harry as fans is enormous. Because I know for myself, I could not be who I truly was if it was not for Harry Styles. Him just being himself, I was like, okay, this is a safe space. I feel safe with these people. I trust that I will be okay. So yeah, and I've never felt that with any other like celebrity artist, anyone out there. So I think it's a monumental feeling. Yeah.
I guess I don't really have a specific favourite on stage moment for the LGBTQ community. I guess all of them combined into one, because for me, I don't know, I don't think allyship can be placed into one singular perfect quote and that's it. I think for me it's the support he's shown throughout the entirety of his career. I think that's what does it for me. But wow, I guess my favourite pride flag moment for me was wearing my Pam flag to his Hammersmith Apollo show, and he like pointed at it and I was like, love you.
Yes. There was a moment, and I can't remember what show it was, but there was a moment when he had like the bi pride flag and he had a Black Lives Matter flag, and I was like bawling, crying, bawling, because I was just like, oh my god, it's me. I was like, oh my god, it's me. And then of course when he's singing Medicine, this man, him singing, he said the boys and the girls are here, and I was like, I'm being called out right now. I'm actually being called out. I would not have been able to accept myself, I feel, if it was not for that song. Just in general. Because before I was even out, him singing this and me singing it back to him and having everyone sing it back to him, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's time.
I think one of my favorite moments of him showing his support on stage is not. It's not like a really meaningful moment, but like the vodka one, vodka straight, no gay. I just think that's hilarious, and it just shows him as a person as well. I love that one.
Vodka! Wow. Straight. No, I mean straight vodka, not are you straight? Is vodka straight? No, gay.
His allyship has helped me so much. When it was 2018, I think, that's when he first started singing Medicine. I heard the lyrics and I said, yeah, I know. I'm bi and I know that and I'm fine, like I'm out, it's great. But I wouldn't have even come to that point if I didn't see this person being so comfortable in who he is. Being so comfortable being like, makeup, nail polish, skirts, dresses, doesn't matter, clothes are clothes. And it's something that I truly believe. And I feel like it's so different to hear someone else say it and to see someone else do it and for it to be yourself. Because for everyone else, I'm like, yes, ally, like I love it. But for me, so that's the thing. And I think after hearing that, I think it was at the San Jose show too. He was like, yeah, he's like, all of us are a little bit gay, right? And I was like, yeah, yes we are, sir, yes we are. And I think it was that day, and I went with my sister and I turned to her and I was like, yeah, Harry said everyone's a little bit gay. And I was like, he's not wrong though. And she's like, no, he's not wrong. And I was like, okay. So I didn't fully come out then. It would take until 2020 for that to happen, but that's the first time I had felt it, known it, and kind of said it to someone, so.
I think his allyship has affected me in a way that it allows you to have a safe space to go as an LGBTQ person and know that at least the majority of people there are going to be rooting for you. And I think that that's what his allyship has done for me overall. I'm lucky that I've always felt comfortable in my queerness and I've never really had a problem with it. But yeah, having a space to look around and be like, oh, I know that everyone here is probably okay with this. Yeah, it feels great.
Harry's support towards the LGBTQ community definitely has made me feel more visible and like more comfortable with who I am. Because when I first realised, oh, I think I do like women as well, it was very tough for me because I felt that there's something wrong about it. And obviously seeing queer people in like the media, especially if it's people that you admire, and like people showing their support towards the LGBTQ community, that does really help and makes you feel more seen and like, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. If like even the people that I love most like think that it's fine and support it. So yeah, it's definitely helped me, and especially in like the past few years with him being more open about his own queerness or like showing like signs of queerness, I was like, oh, I can do that as well. It's fine. He does it. I can do it. And I think that's really nice and reassuring.
I think over the years, as like a young teen, having Harry and others there as influencers was definitely such a big reason as to why I felt so comfortable in being queer and so happy with that. And I found it so much easier to come out knowing that there were people around that did support that, I guess. And I knew my parents were always going to be supportive, but definitely having a space of someone that I knew I looked up to and I knew that was in my corner and knew that was kind of there, that really meant a lot throughout the years and still does.
Yeah, Harry's definitely like made me feel more comfortable with who I am. And I don't know, maybe also like more comfortable with coming out, like, because I first came out when I was 15 and I was really young and I was really insecure, and then I kind of low-key went back into the closet because I was like, and then seeing more and more people like come out and like seeing Harry do the stuff he does was really reassuring for me and like made me feel more comfortable with who I am. And then like 2 years ago, it's like, okay, never mind, I'm back. Here I am. And yeah, no, it definitely has to do with him and like also the environment he's kind of put me in, and like the environment I found through him.
He sees me and he accepts everyone and he accepts himself, and I'm like, well, if he does that, then why can't I accept me? Okay.
Like Harry's stan Twitter is just gay. And like also like on TikTok nowadays and stuff, I feel like everyone, there's like just that space that is full of comfort and people share the same experiences, and seeing people go through the same things you went through is also really reassuring.
As an LGBTQ member in the fandom, yeah, I do feel safe. Like I mentioned throughout a few of these questions, I just find that Harry shows are a safe space for me to be. I love being there and I love being around the people that are there, and yeah, it's a great time.
As someone who's queer in this fandom, I definitely feel safe because I feel like there's many queer people in this fandom. And also if like all his treat people with kindness and like just his whole mentality, it'd be horrific if people with like homophobic tendencies were like here, and like it's just, there's just no room for them, and I think that is really cool. And yeah, just people being so openly about it makes you feel really safe being there as well.
And I love you. I love you as well. Thank you for coming. I mean, we're all a little bit gay, aren't we? We're all a little bit gay.
As an LGBT member of the fandom, I feel absolutely safe. Absolutely safe. I wasn't even at the point of thinking of coming out because I wasn't ready to come out to myself as bi until Harry's show. And until like I went to the shows and I'm seeing other people, I'm seeing people with their partners, I'm seeing people getting proposed to, I'm seeing people being comfortable in what they're wearing and who they are, and I was like, this is such a safe space for all of us, and I love that. So yeah, absolutely feel comfortable.
I feel like I do kind of feel seen in this fandom as a queer member. I'm not as much in it as I used to be, but I feel like there's still so much representation, and like every time I go on Twitter or like TikTok, there's just queer people talking about Harry, and I think it's really nice to be with like people with the same interests and also like same stories and experiences, and that you can share that, and that yeah, because I feel like my first queer friends I met through like being a One Direction fan, and that is so nice because it just connects.
Okay, so it's not just me feeling, overly comfortable in something. Other people feel it too, and I think that's what makes it great.
I'm really lucky that I have like people around me who are really loving and supportive of me. But I feel like if I didn't have that there'd definitely at least be like the support system of like the fandom, and that it'd be a really easy and good way to still be able to connect with people over like this, not issue, this trait, I guess. And I feel like it still would give me a lot of like support knowing that Harry is there somewhere and that there's a lot of people with the same mindset as him and as me. And I feel like if no one in my like real life would support that I'd just like move to like and like find people here with the same mindset. And I think like for example, Twitter is like a really good way to do that, and that you'll always find someone who will support you and with the same mindset as you on there.
I definitely feel seen as someone who's LGBT and within the fandom because I see other people like me. I think I meet more LGBT fans than I do people who are not LGBT. And the thing is, like, I've come out to other, like, Harry fans that I've met at concerts and that, like, I still talk to today, like, from 2017, 2018, and they're perfectly accepting. They're like, I'm not LGBT, but I support you. And it's the best feeling. I definitely feel seen and I feel accepted, and I'm like, okay, I don't have to hide any part of myself because these people see me and they get it and they understand it.
I also think it's really important for him to keep speaking up about LGBTQ plus community issues, just because, especially for the trans community at the moment, oh my god, it's really not a great time. So to have someone with his kind of power and influence speak up about those issues is so important. I think that a lot more people should be doing it and doing it authentically, in the way that he is.
I think it's extremely important for Harry to keep speaking up about the LGBT community. The LGBT community comes under attack a lot, and depending on where he's touring, that's going to affect it. I know that there are certain places in the United States that he will tour, and it is not LGBT friendly. It's just, him even bringing those pride flags is a big deal. Him having all these people, like, come to his show openly showing that they're LGBT is a really, really big deal. So I think it's extremely important for him to keep talking about it because, it's people's lives, and you need to speak up and you need to say something. So, yeah.
I think as long as Harry's comfortable with speaking up about like LGBTQ topics, that it is really important because he has such a big reach and such a big influence. And especially like nowadays, it's insane. Like his following is insane. So I think it is really important that he speaks up about those topics and like brings visibility to stuff, and also like, you know, a bit of controversy, like his Vogue cover. Even though it's just a man in a dress, apparently it's insane. And I think it's so nice of him to like make that step. Even, I mean, he's not the first one, but still, like, in these days, like, it's so nice that he does it, that he's brave enough to do it, and that he feels supported enough to do this. And I really hope that he keeps doing it, because I think so many people see him and are like, oh, you know, it's fine to be myself. And he openly like encourages it. Like at every show, he's like, be whoever you want to be. And I think that is so beautiful, and it's just really, really important for like, especially like young people, to get that support that maybe they don't get anywhere else.
I think Harry influences the fandom with his allyship by encouraging other people to show their allyship, or even just having people feel comfortable enough to come out. Like, I've had friends within the fandom who are just allies, and they're like, I finally feel comfortable enough to show that I'm an ally, to have pride pins, to attend Pride, or to be there and supporting you when you go to Pride, and to say, hey, there's nothing wrong with being LGBT, first of all. If someone thinks I am, it's fine. I'm still going to support you. And I think that's really powerful. I think that's a really, really powerful thing. I know I have been way more open about my own sexuality because of the allyship he does and the support that he gives. So I just think that's great.
I think with his allyship, Harry influences the fandom in a really positive way, because he's so keen on showing everyone that it's okay to be themselves. Like every show, he says, I want you to be the person who you want to be in this room, and he gives everyone the space to be who they want to be. And I think also him being so unapologetically himself is such a good example, and it really makes you want to be yourself. And I think he just gives like all his fans the room to be who they want to be, and he gives them this safe space. And I was speaking to my friends about this. We went to see Louis the other week. How you just go there and you just feel safe, you just feel at home and at peace, and you don't have a care in the world. And I think that's really beautiful that he, and like, just, you know, this One Direction Harry Styles thing, that it's just got this magic to it, where you're just not scared to be who you are. And just seeing someone being themselves, and like being, especially, you know, with his queer traits and everything, it just makes you feel comfortable with who you are. And I think that's really beautiful.
I've noticed, being a fan throughout all of the years, a lot of people that have been attracted to him only as a solo artist have been queer friends of mine, have been people that have been in the alternative scene, have been queer, have been trans, and have just kind of seen this person who stands up for what they believe in and creates a safe space for them. And I think that he influences the fandom by saying, basically, if you don't accept this, you are not welcome here. And that, means a lot. It's beautiful, really, in my opinion.
If I could tell Harry Styles one thing, woo, that's a lot.
If I could tell Harry one thing, what would it be? Oh my god. Wow. Like, oh Christ. There's so many things.
If I could tell him one thing, if he was in front of me, I think it's a really difficult question, but I think I'd say something along the lines of, thank you for being who you are and sharing it with us. Although it doesn't, it doesn't do what I feel justice, but,
I don't know. I'd probably have like a sit-down half-hour conversation to get out everything I'd want to. I guess, thank you for inspiring me throughout the years. Harry and One Direction have been pretty much my only rock throughout the entirety of my teen years. So, Christ, I guess. Thanks for that, and thanks for creating incredible music. Yeah, thanks for being a great person. Thank you for creating incredible music. That's what I'd say. Those are two things. But one sentence.
Well, I would tell him that I love him so much and so deeply, and I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of everything that he's accomplished. I would thank him for being there for his fans, for writing lyrics we can relate to, because his lyrics they're not always happy, they're not always, pretty, and that's what life is. And for being so open with us, because you don't have to be, he certainly does not have to be. I would thank him for inspiring me. I wouldn't be in England without him. I wouldn't have had the courage to do it. I probably wouldn't even be out if it wasn't for him. But he's inspired me to just genuinely be myself and be happy with that and be okay with that. So I would just tell him that.
You are joined hands. And I'd like to know every single one of you in here tonight. If you are black, if you are white, if you are gay, if you are straight, if you are transgender, whoever you are, whoever you want to be, I support you, I love every single one of you.